Timotheos. I'm here to speak about the Ras. One of my subscribers asked me to speak about the Ras and a little bit about the union between human beings and the Most Highs. Well, to start out, I wanted to say that this is my interpretation of the word Ras and other specific words when dealing with spirituality or so-called religion, so-called mysticism, magic, anything of that nature. The Ras comes from the Amharic word Ras or Ras, which means head. And so my understanding of this word as it being head in a spiritual context means a lord or the Lord. No, it's not claiming to be, of course, the Ras of the cosmos, but if you look at it, if you look at self in a smaller standpoint, a microcosmic aspect of a macrocosmic mind, then you will understand that this word Ras, in its smallest standpoint, stands for the self, which has been brought to the highest state. So the Lord would be the king, which has dominion over the people of a kingdom. In terms of the esoteric understanding of the word Ras, the spiritual understanding, the mystical understanding of the word Ras, we have the head, or the spiritual leader, which is the king of the dominion of spiritual thoughts in one's consciousness, in the kingdom. The kingdom is the apex of the head. The priest is the Lord of the body, which unites with the highest mind of the universe. Hope you guys are following me. The mind is the dominion over the thoughts. So the Lord, the Ras, is the spiritual man within us, which presides as a king over the dominion of thoughts in our consciousness. The Lord is another word for the higher self. So the mind is the Ras, or the head. You know, when there's a head over something, is the overseer, the one who looks over that which is being done, that which is being carried out. That which is being carried out is creation, wisdom, power, understanding, or should I say, understanding and overstanding. The inner understanding and the over understanding. The Ras is the head, or the mind, which is the dominion which has dominion over the lower thoughts, which make up the body, or the kingdom. See, our physical body is a universe in and of itself, as I spoke upon in the previous video. Our body is the kingdom of the Most Highs. In a microcosmic sense, in the smallest sense. In the macrocosmic sense, the universe as a whole is the body of the divine mind which created the cosmos. Our macrocosmic selves. And it is through the ras, or the apex of the head, that one is capable of connecting with the higher self. So the mind is the ras, or also the sun, which rises in the sky, you know, each and every day, to the highest apex, which is the top of the head, and then it sets. This is our soul rising and resurrecting. The sun never really sets. It just we just go on the other side of the earth, spinning, movement, vibrating, like sound. So the ras is the divine mind of the self, or the higher self, or the sun upon the apex of the head. Ras means head. So the sun is the soul at the apex of understanding, wisdom. And it's through the heart that one gets to the apex of the head, or the ras, the higher thoughts and consciousness. So the body is the kingdom of the spiritual thoughts and ideas of the holistic aspect of the universal mind, or the ras, which manifests itself in the physical form. Mind and its unified thought resting in harmony and balance through spirit, or substance, the incorporeal substance, the substance which has no body, which is the all and the absolute existing within us. It is the universal spirit existing within us. The apex of oneself, of the physical body, is the top of man and woman's head. The apex of the sun in the sky, see, it's in a higher region, the sky, the head, or thoughts which have been elevated to a higher state of consciousness, beyond lower mundane, worldly state of thoughts, is the same thing as the apex of the sun in the sky, or in the solar system. The full resurrection of the soul and through the subconscious mind to create. So the ras is the top of man and woman's head, and it is the dwelling place of the Most Highs. It is the kingdom of spiritual thoughts, or the Most High thoughts of self and the universe within self, of self. We are the universe realizing self, which realizes itself again. The ras, it's through the ras, or the kingdom of heaven, that we get to the Most Highs. Heaven is a state of consciousness, states of thoughts in our minds, the thoughts that relate ourselves back to the macrocosmic aspect of ourselves, the state of elevated thoughts beyond the mundane reality or sense consciousness. It's the angelic thoughts or state of consciousness, the angelic thoughts or the ancestral thoughts which exist within our DNA, which we unlock through our spiritual awakening, through thoughts that relate us back to our higher self, and the experiences that we have with those thoughts in our aras, realizing our aras, and our aras realizing the universe, which is the universal mind realizing itself. The ancestors come to us through the sun or the soul, the subconscious, the supreme conscious mind. One may go beyond the conscious mind or the ego, the personality. You're not really you. You're actually the universe. And dissolving the boundaries between this world and the spiritual world, accessing dimensions of self within the apex of the sun, or the apex of the head, or the part of the sun which exists within you at its highest point, also known as Mount Zion. And this exists beyond three-dimensional existence. It exists beyond light, sound, and physical three-dimensional patterns. The elements are the ancestors. Look at the universe. The universe carries all the elements. All the elements that exist on Earth exist from the universe, the cosmos. The elements are ancestors. The ancestors are the elements. You see what I'm saying? We carry the DNA of the cosmos. That is the power of the Most Highs manifested on Earth, our physical bodies. But it's the absolute substance that never changes. See, all this physical stuff changes. That is the law of the universe. That is the law of cosmos, is change. But the thing that never changes is the principle behind it, the substance behind it. It's absolute. And it exists within us. It exists within our DNA because we are of the cosmos. Think about the mind that created the sun. The principle of that exists within you. And you can access that through your ras, through the apex of your head. The ancestors came through the sun. The elements came through the sun, the soul. And it's within our souls, our ras, to get to our souls, which is deeper than the heart. Our soul is trapped in this heart. This heart is everything in this physical body is perishable. But the principle that is non-perishable is the soul, the spirit, the essence that exists of the universe, of the cosmos. It is forever, eternal. And it's through our ras that we realize this unity. The elements are the ancestors which comes from the sun, the soul of the solar system, or the soul of the body and the mind. I'm also talking about thoughts. They are also the angels, as well as the demons. The demons comes from the word daemon. It's a Greek word that daemons represent these entities which had knowledge. And some of these entities actually deterred human beings from the path. Well, the path is to realize the highest self, to then realize God, to be in union with whatever created us, the principle that created us, the principle that created the sun, the principle that created the ancestors. But the angels, like I was saying, are divine thoughts in the consciousness of the Ras, the Christ consciousness. Also the divine thoughts of the cosmos. Where do you think the plants come from? The divine mind of the cosmos. Plants. See, when we're born, we're born from almost an embryonic state, and then in that embryonic state, that's like a mineral form, and so that's like the mineral kingdom. See what I'm saying? In science, we've already defined things, but we look at things in a linear way. We go through a plant kingdom, which is us coming out of the seed or the embryo, and then the 3 phases of darkness within the womb. That essentially is our soul transitioning from the cosmos, from the soul of the cosmos, from the son of the cosmos, just as our ancestors did. And it is through our mundane thoughts that we are stuck here. There's what is known as a demiurge that controls this physical world, that produces this physical world. And its archons are lower daemons. They're ones that have knowledge of creation, but they are ignorant in and of themselves of the actual creation that has life within it. And see, we are stuck with this aspect of ignorance, where it's hard to realize our true selves, our spiritual selves, through, and I'm saying it's the ego as well, it's hard to realize our true selves because of this physical aspect, this physical attachment. And these lower daemons, their main goal, these archons of the physical world, their main goal is to deter you from your path, to get you to think that this physical world is all that exists. I mean, think of the mind that created the cosmos, that created the universe, that then created the earth, our solar system, that then created the earth for us to be here to even have this discussion. So, the practices of the priest, of the mystic, is to transcend their consciousness beyond the demiurge, beyond these archons of self. That which wants to connect, the ego which wants to fit in and be of this world. Because in actual reality, our spirit, our soul, our true selves, our Ras, our soul, the soul of the universe, is not of this world. Of this world, how we view this world. Go look in a newspaper. And then go to the beach. And think of what the water is thinking. Look up in the sky at night. And think of what the moon is thinking. It's definitely not anything of this world as we think of this world. Think of the mind that created our soul. So we must transcend our consciousness beyond the physical demiurge, these physical archons of this physical world, and access the unified holistic awareness and understanding and the union between God and mind. See, the ego wants to separate. That's its job, to separate and to make to show the separation and to make you fond by it. But it's our duty to say, you know what, hold up, you need to step back. It's the Ras that's in control of this. Each and every human being has a Ras within them, and it's up to them. It's their duty to find the higher self. The only thing that's going to come here and save you is you doing the work yourself, getting back to your Ras, realizing the universe for yourself within you. See, our lower thoughts, our mundane thoughts, seek to keep the perception of separation between matter and energy within the universe, within the cosmos, within the self, within the mind. The ego seeks to separate the mind and the thoughts, even outside of ourselves. The physical things outside of ourselves are just thoughts, lowered into physical vibration. Light, sound, frequency lowered into physical patterns that are tangible, perceivable, experienceable. You can experience in them. You can have an experience in them. You can experience them outside. But as these lower thoughts, which are the ignorant of the union between, our soul in the cosmos. We are the cosmos. But yet we're here in this box. Think about it. We're of the cosmos. Think of how plants grow. They have no desire to, desire of this world. They're just growing, At least that's what we think. They're just growing. But think of the mind that created that. Think of the mind that created the ability for us to be created. The physical world is related to sense consciousness and is through our perception. Now, our perception controls our level of awareness. Our awareness and perception has one more factor attributed to that. And that is our conscious attachment with our perception. So it is a level of awareness, higher or lower thoughts in our consciousness, that creates our heaven or hell here on this earth. There's no one going to come here and save you. You save your damn self. Think about the mind that created the sun and the cosmos. This is something that we should all be speaking about right now. It's more important than the shit going around in the world. Killing and dis-ease. Death. I mean, certainly we all have a day in which we will transcend this world. So what is the purpose of life? To sit around and to think that life is in a bottle? No. We should be looking at our Creator. We should be realizing that which put us here to realize anything, really. Our focus should be on getting back to our Ras and reuniting our Ras with that which we think we're not united with because of our egos. And see, I'm talking to myself here as well, because I myself am as trapped here. So we are in this together. There's nobody going to come and save us. We got to save ourselves from ourselves. When the priest releases themselves, when the Ras, when the head, when the higher thoughts in the consciousness releases the soul from the lower aspects of themselves, from the higher and the lower thoughts, they dissolve the ego and the boundaries and destroy the ignorance of the corporal, that which has a body, the corporal, physical perception of separation between spirit and the divine mind of the cosmos, the self and the divine mind of the cosmos. The priest realizes the incorporeal substance, the spirit, the the divine principle, that which stays the same. Energy and force. This energy and force connects him or her to the universal mind, supreme conscious mind. This is powerful stuff. The union between man and God and woman, God and man, is attained by going beyond the perception of separation. We are all one. Man, woman, and child, and God. The principle of principles that created all principles. This union is attained by going beyond perception of separation through the conscious cultivation of self, spiritual cultivation of self. The thoughts and ideas which relate ourselves to the mind which created the sun and the cosmos, and realize the spirit of that force, which allows us to liberate our real selves from the confounds and the boundaries of this physical world. And me, as Ras Timotheos, I call this Divina Sapientia, Latin for the divine wisdom, which can only be achieved by opening up the heart through meditation, intense meditation and intense prayer. Well, that's it for right now. I hope you guys stayed with me. Those of you guys that actually watched the whole thing, and the ones that asked me to make this video, let me know what you guys think. And hopefully I covered everything. The union between man, woman, and child, and the most high divine principle is through our minds, and liberating ourselves through the awareness which we have with our divine selves. And when we realize this union, ridding our understanding of separation and opening this faculty of love through faith, understanding, right judgment, enthusiasm, power, intelligence, and divine understanding, we can rise the Ras, or the soul. We can resurrect the soul to the highest aspect of self, and regain who we truly are as spiritual beings in the cosmos.